Ladies and G's, boys and G's, it's the forbidden son of athletics, KaraboJ, with another episode of TheTrackInsider ZA. I am not alone, I am with.
He is here with Thapelo, Mhlanga, aka Thappies.
Ladies and G's, boys and G's, it's the forbidden son of athletics, KaraboJ, with another episode of TheTrackInsider ZA. I'm not alone, I am with.
He is with Thapelo, Mhlanga, aka Thappies, and we are back to give you another show after the Olympics.
Yeah, we are back. The Olympics has ended. We tried doing the Olympic review, but it was just wrapping up the Olympics, and then today is the day whereby we did it again. The Track Insiders went out to ask you, the public, about what went wrong. We are focusing on the South African team, the South African athletics team. What went wrong or what could have been done right? We posted on all our socials, and must be said, I must say this before going forward, this is not a platform to dismantle or to destroy someone. This is not a platform to really create a division in the sport, but to unite the sport, to actually find reasoning and solid accountability. Because if there's anybody that's going to be accountable, they need to know what they're going to be accountable for. We're talking about the federation, the athletes, whoever that is involved in Team SA. But yeah, we have the public's view of how things happened. We're also going to share our views of what really happened or what we thought went wrong, what could have been done right. And it's not against anyone. I will say it again, it's not against anyone. We are trying to build the sport. We're trying to build the sport through the public as well. So people answered through various kinds of means. For instance, Facebook, WhatsApp. Anybody from Instagram, from your side?
They texted a message from Instagram. So yeah, there was an Instagram message. I have also a voice note coming from WhatsApp. So there were people who gave their different opinions. So as Karabo also says, we're not here to bring anybody down. Yeah. But then also, hopefully this kind of episodes will give also inspiration to athletes, to want to do better and train hard and stuff like that, So definitely we need to know as South Africans where it went wrong, what went wrong, but what was wrong with the training, and whether coaches can actually start to fix that and work on it for the next, the season isn't over yet.
Yeah.
Remember, the season is definitely not over yet.
This is the first ever of its kind. The TrackInsider ZA it's the first of its kind, so it's gonna shock people. The things that we are gonna do here is gonna be surprising, but we are leading the way. About getting into it, I'm gonna play some voice notes. Obviously, it's gonna be anonymous, and we're gonna play one voice note, react to what the person says or comment on it.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who responded. And then, we're going to take it from there. We're going to listen to voice notes, going to read some messages, and then we are going to share our personal opinions on it.
And
Okay, let's play the first one.
Is it? Put it up a closer to that.
No, I'll play it. I'll edit it.
Okay.
Nah, bro. I think most of the blame should go to the administration. You get what I'm saying? As much as the athletes that we had didn't perform like according to standard or to par or didn't medal or whatever, half of the stadiums were closed, bro. So facility was limited for majority of last year and this year. And then I also think allowing, I don't know what you call, just elite athletes to participate or to work out, also cause that lack of competition. You get what I'm saying? So I think also we just need a structure where, just like other countries hold trials for an Olympic squad, I think we also need that, Joe. This thing of the time, you must run a certain time, and then they choose their own team. It doesn't work, and they see it now. It doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about what that person said?
It's actually quite true what the person says. I think the fact that the stadiums and stuff like that were quite limited. It really played a big role on training because you didn't have a place to train. You didn't have the gym where you can keep consistency, keep up your fitness. And then other people in the world during lockdown were still racing, you know, and they, not to say they were still, yes, actually they were still racing. Let me not cap it and say they weren't. So they still competed in some diamond leagues, you know, they still training, they were still able to do what they needed to do, and those athletes performed very well this year, and we saw some of them broke world records. Some of them were able to do that, and in South Africa, our athletes weren't able to do that. And I think that played a big role, actually, in lack of competition, in lack of performance that happened this year by the Olympics. So what he says is quite right. Also, the trials, having trials, it's quite different in South Africa in sense of because of our season meaning literally because of our weather and stuff like that. Us having a long season makes it a bit harder because having a longer season, it starts getting colder. It's harder to race in the cold. So it becomes hard because when America has trials, it's hot that side. It's hot for them that side when they have trials. So yeah, what do you think about it, man? What do you think about what he said?
I think must be put out there. South Africa has explained what goes on to the selection criteria, or what the selection criteria looks like. World Athletics sets the standards, right? And after the World Athletics has set the standard, we as a nation need to meet those standards. So the initial question, or the real deep question here is how are we as South Africa meeting those standards? How are we as a federation or as an athletics community pushing to break those standards? So it's the trial system. It's really a bit tricky. You know, we don't have 10 100-meter athletes who are running sub 10.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have 5 of them running the Olympic standard. So we literally have 3 or 4 maybe in a season. And the first time this year we had, I think, 3 or 2 guys running the Olympic standard.
Yeah.
This year actually running sub 10. So it's a bit tricky when it comes to the trials. We are not in control of that. If the guys are not meeting the standard, then that's about it. About the stadiums, going to the stadiums last year, right? ASA, I think, released a statement or a circular that stated that everyone who's on the preliminary team is allowed to train at TAC Stadium. So, are we going to blame the venue?
Yes.
Maybe for those athletes who were not on the preliminary team. I was affected. I'm not gonna lie, I was affected.
Genuinely, me too. Everybody was.
Everyone was affected by the training venue. But the preliminary team.
But then you can't expect and set it out and say everybody must train in TACs. Everybody's in different places. There are people who are here in Joburg. There are people who are in Pretoria. There are people who are in Cape Town. There are people who are in different places. So expecting that everybody's gonna come to the exact same stadium and train, I think it should have been better if. I don't know if you as a coach could have went to a specific place and trained there, but then that would have been better, you know, for those athletes who knew they were quite close to the times, because there are even people who didn't have stadiums who did quite well for themselves, but they still didn't meet the Olympic standards. It's like saying with the trials, having trials in America and South Africa is quite different because in South Africa we don't have a lot of athletes who are performing on that standard.
Our standard is
so
not that good.
We're gonna have trials, and then when we have trials, at trials they're gonna be like 8 people that perform at the whole entire trials. In America and in Jamaica, when they have trials, they know from each and every event 2 people are literally gonna be meeting the standard. In South Africa, we might even have races where people won't even meet the standard, and then what happens then? That means we don't have an Olympic team. Because you don't meet the standard when the time is required for you to meet the standard.
Races were made for some athletes, special races, different races. I mean, the season ended in May, June even. We tried by all means
to make it longer and longer for people.
The standard.
Yeah.
I'm coming to think about it. Did the federation play its role in that way of creating competitions? Because as much as the provincial competitions were in some way limited, you know, we did not have your normal 5 to 6 leagues.
Yeah.
And the championship, the provincial championships, the nationals. But there were races for maybe people who were close to those times. So the trial system, we are far from that. I wish to see it as well.
Yeah,
I wish to see it as well.
It would be nice to see. But then you know what? I think South African athletics, we need to get right by our senior side, because on an honest note, since early high school, even before that, I've always seen how in our junior section we perform with the same standard for the whole world, but then when we get to our senior, we don't deliver. It comes to the point where they say only 1% makes it going from world youth to world junior, and only 1% go from world junior to senior. So we perform quite well by youth, by junior. We produce world champions and everything there, but then going and getting into senior becomes harder. And you know, the question is, what do we need to do to change that and actually become and have better seniors?
Let's listen to the second voice note and react to it.
Yes.
What I can say is that you see what went wrong is that Batobajo, they didn't have enough time to practice on tour. There wasn't enough elite races whereby they can go and try their best at Wanzwa. Let's check both Ledwin Mozazi and the others that couldn't qualify because of Babetile Genako. It's because the elite races that they were expecting, like Body European Tour and others, they were closed. And another thing, Mborileng come to an Naketan squad. Why did he exclude Oscar Mavundla? Where else Oscar Okono Vetanako? If it didn't Majidailoring available 4x4. Arane they have experience, but then why we share athlete the Eluring if it over fitisa? Then Urutsaba to Rubatia via the then. How do you Rubatia via experience? That's very wrong.
That's another thing a lot of people have raised, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's true and it holds substance that people are picked based on experience and PBs. No, I don't think so. Everyone who has hit the standard deserves to be in the team.
Yeah.
As much as they can be inconsistent, but at the same time,
hit the standard.
They hit the standard. This person just talks about elite races. I think we covered that. But at the end, he mentions the exclusion of Oscar Mavundla on the 4x4 team. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Need to walk 4x4.
Yeah.
It was in the reality of the Giants were performing.
Yeah.
I won't lie. Really want to resale it. Majitana Wama said 45-0. There's a lot of people that I could say they didn't include. There's Derek that didn't even get included in the 4x4 who's in America is also running 45 lows.
I was actually on the team, but I don't know what happened.
You understand? Exactly, he was on the team last year. So even this year. So I think it's quite hard, but as you say, once you meet the standard, you meet the standard. And if you don't meet the standard, I think they will start to pick on who ran better times how in the season. And yeah, man, it sometimes gets unfortunate that you don't get to make the team.
Yeah.
But for me, I think, as I've always said it to you, experience isn't ish in athletics.
Yeah. What the 4x4, I believe that they looked at who has qualified for the individual 400. And the original 4x4 team was sort of an addition of those guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually the case with different countries. You look at the US, what they did. They took Rai Benjamin, Michael Norman, Michael Cherry, forgot the fourth guy. Those guys, 3 of them ran in individual events.
Yeah.
And then they ran in the final. But there were other athletes that were on the team that ran the qualifying rounds.
Yeah.
And those athletes did not compete in the qualifying or in the individual events.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of understandable, you know, from my side of why they left Oscar Mavundla, because maybe they looked at, okay, who has produced the better times this season, who has the better experience in really running internationally, and who can we drop, because now there's a Wade van Niekerk, now there's a Thapelo Pora, now there's a Kitinen.
Yeah. How do you feel about a situation where athlete can run the heats for the relay, but then they can replace you or replace 2 athletes
I
in a
think
final.
if someone is faster than you, then let them do that.
That's
Because you still get the medal, though. You
How?
still get the medal. Everyone who runs in the qualifying rounds and the finals, if the team gets a medal, you get the medal as well. So if there's 6 people who are in the team or 8 people, you still get the medal.
Because sometimes when you think about it, I maybe think about it, I'm like, if it was possible,
Even the US guys.
I would use a team that I know will take us to the qualifiers, and then in a final I would use a different team that I know will win. the
Yeah.
medal.
Look,
Because that's getting to rest
sure.
your guy. You get to rest your guy, not to run their
many
individual
races,
race.
And the
Come and run a qualifier.
Yeah.
Come and run again for the final. So I would use someone else for the qualifier. Let you run your individual races. Then when you're done with the individual race, come and run the final. I think that's it. I think a system that would be good to adapt.
And if
Baba, when you run qualifiers, you must run qualifiers and you must run final. If you are not there by the qualifiers, I must shut you out.
Nah, dude.
Man, on it must be like that.
Thappies, let's say I'm faster than you in the 400.
Sure. Why didn't you run qualifiers?
You didn't qualify. You didn't qualify for the individual 400.
Sure.
I'm faster than you. It's there. It's on paper, right? I'm chosen for the sake of, you know it, energy conserving, mentally as well. You cannot run too many races. Let's say I'm a medal hopeful at the Olympics. I'm running the 400. I'm a Michael Norman or Stephen Gardner. I run the 400. I get to the final and I win. Let's say I have a PB of a 43.2 and you have a 44 or 45. We're about to run the final 4x4. Should I not replace you on the team? I'm better than you. I'm good. I'm good enough to win.
Why the hell didn't you run qualifiers?
No, we had you. We had you. Look, this is how they do it in the US. Ne? At the 400-meter women's final at the trials,
Oh yeah?
they took the top 6 or 7 women. No, actually six women, ne? From the US. The top 6 went to the Olympics. The top 3, they are going to run the individual 400. The other 3, they are in the relay pool.
If
The other 3 are in the relay pool. They are going to run the relay. That's it. It's either you take it or leave it. Okay, that means we leave you at home.
Okay, I was about to get
That means we leave you. You are good enough to run the qualifying round, yes, and you are going to get the medal.
Okay. So Vela, you're gonna put us straight up, which we are complaining. No, Sally,
Sure.
no, if you don't wanna come, then stay.
I would do that. I would run the qualifying rounds. If I know Wade is faster than me, he's gonna get the win for us. I'm gonna get the medal, dude. I'm gonna get the medal. They got the medals.
Okay, now if you put it like that, then
The
I get you.
4x1, they get the medals. Every relay gets the medal. So let's maybe clarify that because I didn't run in the final, I'm not gonna get the medal. You still get the medal. It's just that you did not run in the final. But because your performance was noted from the qualifying rounds, you are gonna get the medal. If your relay loses, hardy. Okay. This guy,
Start it over.
nah, man, it was just. This is just a random one. He was saying people.
From my side, I feel like we should have taken our athletes to go and, run essays, nationals, go KZN, because the altitude there by KZN is the same altitude go Tokyo. It's the same thing, you get. So yeah, they should have gone there. It was gonna be good practice for them to go and actually run there. I feel like that's what actually limited our athletes to perform good, because had they gone to KZN in Durban to run there, they'd perform much better and they'd get plus minus how's the altitude of Tokyo.
It's a good opinion, but is it what went wrong?
No.
Exactly.
Not.
Sure,
It's not. Sometimes, with altitude, yes, you will know where you stand, but then you must remember the time difference between nationals and Olympics is a bietjie van 'n groot gap. It is a bit of a gap in sense of that, but then I don't think that's what went wrong.
Yeah. I'm looking for this message, man. Oh man, I think I didn't put it here, but I'm gonna put it up for the viewers to see. So what this person was basically saying is South Africa should, I'm paraphrasing, it's not what they specifically say, but I'm trying to remember what they say. South Africa should copy what the Netherlands did. Identify talent at a young age, grow it, and then provide for it, whatever they need, support it, and then let it shine at the Olympic level. For instance, the 400 meter guys from Netherlands, the 800 meter guys, 400 hurdles, the relay, together with some different individual field events and road events, they've grown to be a nation to be reckoned with. And another thing he said was, we need a competitive African athletics sort of scene.
Yeah.
Whereas South Africa, as a powerhouse in Africa, should get those competitive African nations maybe once or twice, even if it's 3 times. Get them here, try to compete, or get Africa competing on its own.
Yeah.
Get an African circuit. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that we should at least try to get competitions with countries on our level. The Netherlands, the Polands, the Australia. You name them. Just a few countries that are on our level. Try to compete with them. Sort of some friendly games,
Yeah.
Some friendly athletics competitions. Made an example about the Athletics World Cup in London 2018 actually, the Athletics World Cup. Remember that there were 8 countries that were chosen from the 2017 World Champs.
World Champs, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was mostly about it and what that person said, as far as I can remember. So, yeah, that was it. What do you think about it?
I was about to make a comment.
No, you can.
And that should just slip my mind.
Oh, but it slipped your mind.
I was about to say, yes, I remember now. I was about to say, in terms of identifying talent from a young age, that is one thing that I just spoke about now saying that we do deliver on a youth and a junior level.
Sure.
I think the problem is when we go into the senior level of how to keep those athletes consistent, because look at our junior levels in sense of what Tax does, what Furentu does, what Help Makar does. Those people, they produce world champions and they produce such good athletes at that level. But then the problem in transition into senior is a problem. So in terms of finding talent at a young age, we definitely find that there is talent in South Africa at a young age. We've seen it. It still shows up right now. We've got the Sox team who is doing quite well. Life Pillay who's performing very well at an early age. There is I can literally name such a long list of those athletes. But then, they're transitioning into seniors. Even themselves, they have mentioned that the transition from junior into senior is not an easy transition. It's not as easy as everybody thinks. So I don't know what to say on that one. That's quite a hard one to say what can be done for the athletes to be comfortable or to be able to transform from junior level into senior level and still do well. That is still a topic that's quite hard to have, even all over the world. It's not everybody who goes from junior and performs on a senior level. Some athletes just pop up on senior. So that's hard. Look at the Christopher Taylor. Christopher Taylor is still performing proper when you were still there, but then, he's not delivering
as expected.
As expected, the way he did at the junior level. So I think it's quite hard. It's not as easy for everybody. So that's the one thing we need to also let the people know. Being hot at junior doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be that hot at senior too. Sometimes you will be, yes, but it takes time. Definitely takes time.
So what I'm getting here, I think a lot of people has the what should have been done right part, but the what went wrong is maybe something that a lot of people could not answer. They're thinking about the future, what could have been done right, or a lot of people are talking about that.
Yeah.
And there's a specific person here. It's a long voice note. It's about 6 minutes. I'm not gonna play all of it, but I remember what this person said. That there was an excellent squad of some sort that was identified in 2016 and should have been maybe chosen. And that excellent squad, right? I don't know about this, but there was an excellent squad that was chosen in 2016 after the 2016 Olympic Games for the 2020 Games.
Okay.
So they said, okay, we're looking at these young people or these young athletes, and we want them to perform better at the 2020 Olympic Games. We're going to monitor them, take care of them, but it was not physical, it was just on paper. And this person also said we should stop selecting athletes based on their PBs and what they've done in the past. There are athletes that were consistent this year that did not get the chance. For instance, he mentioned specifically Elviano Johnson, Dambile, but those athletes did not hit the standard, understandably so. So yeah, that's just about what this person said. And can we read on what another person said? So maybe we can put in our final words.
Yes.
Final comments.
Let us do that. Let us do that.
So
Thappies, bruh, I think it's difficult to say what went wrong. Because I feel like because the Olympics was postponed by a year, the athletes had an extra year to prepare for the Olympics. So the athletes and the coaches should know what went wrong. So I feel like I don't know what went wrong. I'm not on the inside. Chances are some of the athletes reached personal best for 100 meter, 200 meter during training. So I'm sure no one just enters the Olympics without being prepared. So I can't just, it's a bit of a vague question, because us as the public don't know what they went through to get where they were. We don't know the type of training. Me speaking from a biokineticist / sports scientist point of view, I don't know what type of training they went through, how often they train, whether they done resistance training or not. So it's a bit of a tough question to ask.
to all the viewers that got this far, thank you so much for watching this episode of the TrackInsider ZA. We unfortunately lost the sound of the original video, so we were using a backup audio. And as you can see, when Thappies tried to play the voice note from his phone, the audio actually stopped. So we didn't have audio from there on. And what had happened was we just closed off the episode with another message from someone just saying how the build-up was also a bit shaky, the relay as well should have done better. And we closed off the episode, and my opinion was that I think we should have a national system that will work for athletics, meaning we should have a possible national coach for sprints, a possible national coach for distance. And these national coaches, for instance, someone like a Werner Prinsloo or a Nikril should be heading the sprinting in the nation, providing the other sprinting coaches with the knowledge, the experience, as well as maybe the guidance to really pushing these sprinters to a different level, because that's what they have done. We should stop being more of individuals, but work together in achieving something as a country. We should grow as a country, not as individuals. Together with the distance, we should have people like Coach Sponge, people like Hendrik Ramala, who have produced athletes on the international stage, to guide the others, to teach them what they have done. If there's anything maybe that's new in the water, if anything that's new on the horizon, they should share it with everybody, and all South African coaches, managers, and whatever should know about it. So a national system that will be run, maybe coaches and athletes having a workshop every 3 to 4 months, something like that, that will benefit the country, not only the individuals in the sport. And as well as finding really the sponsors that the president spoke about, we need to find more money into the sport, which will grow the sport financially. The growth will play a huge role in our development as well. And yeah, that's just about it. We closed off the episode after that. Ladies and G's, boys and G's, thank you for watching the TrackInsider ZA. Unfortunately, now I'm recording this audio alone. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.